Hello everyone, in this video we'll be taking a look at setting up our environment that we're going to be using for the rest of the course. So as mentioned in the earlier slide, nmap works on multiple operating systems. It can be installed on Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and Unix and BSD. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be showing you how to install nmap on Windows and on Linux. As an addendum to this video, as a resource as well, we're going to be adding links to free YouTube tutorials on our channel that will cover how to install them on various other platforms and how to install your penetration testing distribution. In this case, we're going to be using Kali Linux. Now, to install nmap on Windows, it's fairly simple. All you want to do is go to nmap.org and you want to go to download.html, or you want to click on the download page right over here. You then want to scroll all the way down to Microsoft Windows binaries, and you want to click on the latest stable release self-installer that comes pre-packaged with nmap, which is the GUI front end for nmap. So once that is downloaded, you can then run it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's going to ask me for administrative privileges. It's then going to give me a license agreement. I'm going to hit next. Now, for the core components, you want to ensure that you have the npcap driver being installed, because this is what is going to facilitate the sending and the receiving of packets, and it's the main functionality. It's the main module that ensures that nmap works correctly. As for the other options or the other core components, you want to make sure that nmap is also installed. ncat, ndiff, and nping are also very useful tools, so you can also make sure that they are clicked. If you want a default install, just ensure that all of the core components are installed, and then you want to click on next and install, and that's going to start installing nmap, and that's going to prompt up the npcap driver installation. I already have the npcap driver installed, so I'm going to hit yes, and I want to reinstall it. I'm now going to specify that I'm going to specify the loopback traffic, which again will create a loopback traffic adapter, which is important. You can also specify the option to restrict the npcaps driver access to the administrators only, essentially allowing only administrators to perform scans. In our case, we're just going to leave it that way, and I'm just going to hit install, and that's going to start installing the npcap driver, and that should complete the installation process. There we are. So the npcap driver is now being reinstalled in my case. And it's complete. And we're just going to hit finish, and the nmap installation is now complete, and we can create a start or a desktop icon for nmap, and we want to hit finish. All right, so now that we have nmap installed on Windows, we can test it by opening up a command prompt. You can do that by opening up your run menu by using the Windows key and your R key and typing in cmd for a command prompt, and you can then type in the command nmap and hit enter, and as you can see, the nmap help options are displayed here, which tells us that the nmap tool is working. The nmap GUI, or the nmap front end or graphical user interface, will have a shortcut on your desktop, and you can click on that, and there we are. We now have nmap set up, and you can immediately start performing your scans. So that's how easy it is to install nmap and nmap on Windows. Let's take a look at how to do this on Kali Linux. So you can find Kali Linux at on kali.org under downloads, and as I said, we'll have free resources attached to this video where you can actually take a look at installing Kali through the ISO or through a OVA file on your virtual machines. In our case, we're using VirtualBox. All right, we are now back in Kali Linux, and by default, nmap comes pre-installed with Kali, and you really don't need to install it manually. So again, if I type in nmap here, let me just open up my terminal and just hit nmap. There we are. You can see that it comes pre-packaged. However, the GUI frontend for nmap, which is nmap, does not come pre-installed with Kali Linux as of the latest release, as of recording this video, and that is, I think, release version 2020, which means that nmap does not come pre-packaged and is not supported officially within the Kali Linux repositories, which means you cannot install it using the aptitude package manager. Now, don't worry, if you're in this situation and you are using the latest version of Kali Linux, installing it is fairly simple. You have various avenues that you can actually use. The first option is to install nmap by compiling the source code. So you download the source code and then you compile it manually. If you're new to Linux, I don't recommend doing this. mainly because you need to configure the build system and then run the make command and install any missing dependencies, so on and so forth. However, if you have experience with building Linux packages or compiling Linux packages manually, you can go ahead and use this avenue. A much better way is to actually convert the RPM packages right over here. So if you go to the downloads page on nmap.org and you take a look at the Linux RPM source and binaries, you can see that we have various packages that have been built, or binaries that have been built for distributions like Red Hat, Mandrake, SUSE, etc., that utilize the RPM package manager, the package management system. However, with Debian-based distributions like Kali Linux, there is no Debian package here or Debian binary. So for that matter, we'll have to convert the RPM packages here. And to do that, we're going to be using a utility on Linux called Alien, right? So first things first, you want to make sure you download the ZenMap No Architecture RPM right over here. So you want to click on that, and that works on all platforms. And so we're just going to minimize that. And the first thing we want to do now, I already have it downloaded. We want to install the Alien utility. So to do that, we typed in apt install Alien, right? And we're currently on Kali Linux, which means we're using the Aptitude Package Manager. So I already have the Alien utility installed. If you want to learn more about what this tool does, you can type in what is Alien and hit enter, and you can see it actually converts or installs an Alien binary package. Now, the reason a package is called Alien is because it's actually not designed to be run or installed on your system. And in this case, that is true. We have the RPM file saved in my downloads directory. Sorry. I'll just go into my downloads directory here, and you can see we have the ZenMap 7.801 no arch or no architecture.rpm file here. And to convert it, it's really very simple. All we need to do is type in alien, and we then specify the file, which is ZenMap, and this is the RPM file, and this is going to convert it into a Debian package for us that we can then install with the Debian package manager. I'm going to hit enter, and that is going to convert it into a Debian file. There we are. It's going to tell us that ZenMap 7.82 is now a Debian file which is generated. So if we list the directory, you can see we have the ZenMap Debian file. So we can now install this, but before we do that, we want to give it some executable permissions by running chmod, and we then specify the Debian file and hit enter. And if we now click ls, you can see it's now highlighted in green, which means it can be installed and has the various install permission. So dpkg and I, and then we specify the ZenMap Debian file and hit install, and that is going to install ZenMap on our system. And there we are. So now ZenMap is installed on our system, and we can launch it by opening up the Kali menu here and typing in ZenMap. And there we are. We can run it as root, and there we are. We now get ZenMap in its beautiful graphical interface here, and you can run various predefined scans here. So that is how to install ZenMap manually on Kali Linux if you do not have it in your repositories already. However, as you can see, it's fairly simple to install it either from the source code or to use a utility like Alien. Now, for our target, we are going to be starting off with the nmap scan me. So if I open up google.com here, and let me just change the language here, and we search for nmap scan me. And I'm just going to hit enter, and you can see we have the URL scanme.nmap.org, right? So you can see that it'll tell you right over here, hello and welcome to scanme.nmap.org, a service generated by Nmap, the Nmap Security Scanner Project, and insecure.org. We set up this machine to help folks learn about Nmap, and also to test and make sure that the Nmap installation network connection is working properly. You're authorized to scan the machine with Nmap or the port scanners. Try not to hammer the server, etc. So this is a good target to first of all use for your initial scans. We will be using many other vulnerable boxes later on during the course. However, for now, let's just focus on using this before we get into performing advanced scans that are operating system specific, like Windows scans, detecting Windows firewalls, etc., etc. That being said, that's going to be it for this video, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.